At least 62 people and an unknown number of hostages are still being held at a Kenyan mall where a standoff has entered into its third day. Joining me now live with more is David Hyde. He's a security consultant, and I know, Kenya's an awfully far way away, but what we're talking about here is this happened in a very westernized sort of mall and in a place that has been called sort of a soft target. And can you explain what that means and how this could raise concerns globally about these so-called soft targets?
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept of soft target is just moving away from the military installations, government targets and things that terrorists used to tend to target. They are very well fortified now. So we've seen this shift to softer targets that are more accessible, and they might be tied more to the economics of a country or more to the very fabric of the country, to send a very big, broad message, and they're often not so well protected as the military institutions and government installations, so they're more easily accessible, and they tend to send a very, very big message when an event happens like this, Stephanie.
Well, yeah, and we hear about those bus explosions that have happened in the Middle East and those, people, very crowded areas. Is this now raising greater concern about these soft targets globally?
Well, I think the whole trajectory of terrorism has changed. And since 9/11, the years that have moved on here, we now have a threat that's very dispersed, very asymmetric. And it's difficult to see which way it's going. And it's a regional threat as well. So soft target is a very broad concept. It needs to be applied within the regions and countries. Canada has soft targets too, but our intelligence, our police, our authorities are much more on top of these kind of threats, which is not as large here as it might be in the Middle East. So it's all contextual, but yes, we're seeing terrorism change, and we need to be ever on guard for our soft targets here and in North America as well.
And do you think we are well on guard? I mean, you're mentioning that it's on the radar. In what way? Is this just with, say, malls themselves having steeped up security, keeping these things in mind, especially if they're in, very hotbed centers like, downtown malls or whatever? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, and it's not just malls. I mean, malls would be one type of target. There are other types, like transit systems is another one that's mentioned quite often. Yeah. Commercial areas and buildings and things. And it's public and private partnership is the way now we see, Stephanie, and it's the authorities and the intelligence apparatus partnering with the private sector and putting all that attention into trying to prevent and preparing as well to notice things that aren't normal in the environment. This big plot here in Kenya, there would have been some planning for this, and some of these people threw them all, and these are indicators that we can hopefully pick up in advance.
And do you think this has heightened that awareness around the globe now?
I think it has, and we're seeing that play out in the mediascape now. Yesterday and today, malls are on a higher alert. There's no need to panic here and to be unnerved shopping in malls, but the authorities and the mall owners and managers are looking at this more carefully and really questioning, do we have the right type of security program in place? Do we need to elevate in a few areas and just to make sure that we're not an easy target?
Okay, David Hyde, security expert, thanks so much for that perspective. It's interesting. We
Anytime.
Appreciate it.